Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the September 23rd, 2021 Hempstead Town Board meeting. Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Yes. Supervisor Clavin.
Here.
Senior Councilwoman Dorothy Gooseby. Here. Councilman Anthony D'Esposito.
I'm here.
Councilman Muscarella.
Here.
Councilman Blakeman.
Here.
Councilman Dunn. Here. Councilman Carini.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask Councilman Carini to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, please.
Will you please stand? Put your hand over your heart. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Madam Clerk, please call the first public hearing.
Pardon me, Madam Clerk and Supervisor. Before we begin the public hearings, we have gotten a request for a motion to be made for an adjournment with respect to one of the public hearings. So in the interest of saving everybody time, I would ask that we would take that item out of order and hear the motion by Mr. D'Agostino.
Okay. Mr. D'Agostino, if you could go to the back mic. Good morning. Yes, please, sir. Thank you. And anybody here, so the public today, comments are in the back table by the podium.
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor, members of the board. There are certain things that we're reviewing internally, and I would respectfully request that this hearing be adjourned to December 7th, which is the next date that I have available.
Mr. D'Agostino, just to be clear, you're referring to items 7A, 7, and 8 on our public hearing calendar?
Island Park, yes.
Thank you. And the application is to adjourn it to the meeting on December 7th?
December 7th, yes.
Thank you.
Supervisor, I will make the motion to adjourn Mr. D'Agostino's application, items 7A, 7, and 8, till the December 7th meeting.
Second.
Supervisor Clavin.
Aye.
Councilman Blakeman.
Aye.
Councilman Carini.
Aye.
Councilman D'Esposito.
Aye.
Councilman Dunn. Aye. Senior Councilwoman Gooseby.
Aye.
Councilman Muscarella.
Aye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. D'Agostino. Madam Clerk, please call the first public hearing.
We have a proposed local law regarding regulations and restrictions to limit parking in East Meadow, Lido Beach, Merrick, North Valley Stream, Uniondale, and Wantagh.
Okay, does any member of the town board wish to be heard on this? Okay. I do not have any slips on this. Is anybody here in the public that wishes to be heard on this item? Okay. If not, I move the public hearing be closed and may I have a motion?
I move that the public hearing be closed and that the local law be adopted.
There we go.
Second the motion.
All right.
Supervisor Clavin.
Aye.
Councilman Blakeman.
Aye.
Councilman Carini.
Aye.
Councilman D'Esposito.
Aye.
Councilman Dunn. Aye. Senior Councilwoman Gooseby. Aye. Councilman Muscarella.
Aye.
Okay, Madam Clerk, would you please call the next item?
We have the proposed local law regarding parking or standing prohibitions near Cedarhurst, East Meadow, Inwood, Lido Beach, near Limbrook, North Valley Stream, Uniondale, and West Hempstead.
Okay. Does any member of the board wish to be heard on this item? If not, I do not have any slips. Does any member of the public here today wish to be heard on item number 2? Okay, if not, may I please have a motion?
Supervisor, I move that the public hearing be closed and the local law adopted.
Second.
Supervisor Clavin.
Aye.
Councilman Blakeman.
Aye.
Councilman Carini.
Aye.
Councilman D'Esposito.
Aye.
Councilman Dunn. Senior Councilwoman Gooseby.
Aye.
Councilman Muscarella.
Madam Clerk, please call the next item.
We have a proposed local law regarding arterial stops in Elmont, Franklin Square, Merrick, North Belmore, North Valley Stream, Oceanside, Seaford, Wantagh, and Woodmere.
Okay, does any member of the board wish to be heard on this? Okay, I do not have any slips on this item. Does anybody in the public here today wish to be heard on this item? Okay, if not, may I please have a motion?
I move that the public hearing be closed and the local law adopted.
Second that.
Supervisor Clavin.
Aye.
Councilman Blakeman.
Aye.
Councilman Carini.
Aye.
Councilman D'Esposito.
Aye.
Councilman Dunn. Aye. Senior Councilwoman Gooseby.
Aye.
Councilman Muscarella.
Okay. Madam Clerk, please call the next item.
We have a proposed local law regarding prohibition of left turns in Merrick.
Okay. Any member of the board wish to be heard on this? I do not have any slips. Any member of the public here today wish to be heard on this item? Yes. Okay, if you please come to the back and give your name and address. Good morning.
Morning.
Rita J. Meriday, Town of Hempstead resident. My concern with regard to just the general nature prohibition of left turns in Merrick, is there specific streets, specific rationale? It's just an issue because you have a number of locations where you need to make a left turn, even though some people these days drive like they have lost their mind. I still would want to make sure that we're not going to be seeing a plethora of these types of general prohibitions that make it difficult for a lot of residents to get to their homes and or places of business because they have to travel further along, where we could possibly look at some kind of research or study that can incorporate a few more left turn signals that would make it safer for all involved. And while I'm standing here on my time, I'm just questioning why the previous resolutions, the public hearing for 7A, 7, and 8 were just arbitrarily moved to December 7th if they weren't ready for publication and discussion at this hearing. And it just seems convenient that it's taking place after the election. So if someone can address my issue that pertains to on the record with regard to these parking situation, and if someone can address my issue as it pertains to the other hearing being removed. If it wasn't ready, it shouldn't have been on here.
Very briefly, in response to your question about the application that was made to adjourn the 3 hearings, that was done at the request of the applicant. The applicants themselves said they needed additional time. It's just common courtesy when an applicant is presenting something before the board if they require additional time to agree to the adjournment. And that is why it was granted.
And then if you could identify yourself.
Good morning, Supervisor. Tom Reed, representing Traffic Control Division. Well, this particular prohibition on this item is for the Patch Farm in Merrick, and we got the recommendation from Nassau County to do this. But if there's a location you would like to discuss that you feel that we need to look at, I'd be happy to discuss the case with you.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other member of the public wish to be heard on this item? If not, may I please have a motion?
I move the public hearing be closed and the board adopt the item.
Second.
Supervisor Clavin.
Aye.
Councilman Blakeman.
Aye.
Councilman Carini. Councilman D'Esposito.
Aye.
Councilman Dunn. Senior Councilwoman Gooseby.
Aye.
Councilman Muscarella.
Aye.
Okay, Madam Clerk, please call the next item.
We have a proposed local law regarding gross weight restrictions in South Valley Stream.
Okay, a member of the board wish to be heard on this. I do not have any slips on this. A member of the public here today wish to be heard on this? If not, may I please have a motion?
Supervisor, I move that the public hearing be closed and the local law adopted.
Second.
Supervisor Clavin.
Aye.
Councilman Blakeman.
Aye.
Councilman Carini.
Aye.
Councilman D'Esposito.
Aye.
Councilman Dunn. Senior Councilwoman Gooseby.
Aye.
Councilman Muscarella.
Aye.
Madam Clerk, please call the next item.
We have a proposed handicap parking on public streets in East Meadow, Elmont, Oceanside, Roosevelt, Seaford, Valley Stream, and West Hempstead.
Okay, any member of the board wish to be heard on this? Okay, I do not have any slips. Does any member of the public here today wish to be heard on this item? Okay, if not, may I please have a motion?
Make a motion that we close the hearing and we adopt the item.
Second motion.
Supervisor Clavin.
Aye.
Councilman Blakeman.
Aye.
Councilman Carini.
Aye.
Councilman D'Esposito. Councilman Dunn.
Aye.
Senior Councilwoman Gooseby.
Aye.
Councilman Muscarella.
Yes.
Madam Clerk, would you please call the administrative calendar?
We have items 9 through 51.
Okay, first, does any member of the board wish to speak on any of the items on the administrative calendar? Okay, I have okay. Couple of slips in here. We'll start with Diane Madden. Morning, if you name and address for the record, please.
Diane Madden, Hempstead. I'd like to speak and have a couple of questions on item number 46. The resolution to dedicate Hempstead Town Hall Plaza in Councilman Goosby's name. It's not for me to determine whether the councilwoman deserves this or not. I would have liked to have seen a post go up and have her community give you some feedback on their thoughts. I notice this is unbelievable timing for you, Supervisor. Duly noted that it's weeks before the election. And Councilwoman Gooseby, in exchange for this, I would have so much appreciated, instead of putting it on the backs of the public, to ask the board to pass diversity consultants to oversee the hiring in this town, to level the playing field for your own community, maybe to work with the community to open up urgent care centers. I believe none exist in Uniondale. And my favorite, to propose term limits for every single elected seat in this town. Term limits. So that there's never an abuse of power, so that there are community members that are heard. Because all this is pandering, and it's a huge disappointment that this board, in the past almost 2 years, has not passed one single good government transparency initiative, not one. That is what you should be holding press conferences on. Thank you.
Okay, next slip I have is Felix Bracaci. Good morning. If you give your name and address for the record, please.
Felix Bracaci, Franklin Square. I concur with Diane Madden. This item, if the board wants to do this, should be done after the election, so it doesn't seem like it's done for political reasons, which it's odd that, why didn't you do this last year? Why didn't you do it 6 months ago? Why is it urgent, 4 weeks before the election, 5 weeks before the election? So I ask that this be put off till after the election, just like you put your raises, when you vote on your raises for elected officials, those are put off till after the election. You never vote on your raises before the election. So in the same, for the same reason, you should put this off after the election. Thank you.
Just so you know, we actually announced this about a year ago, and then 3 weeks later, a pandemic broke out, so we had to delay it. Next person I have is Reverend Mario. Reverend? Good morning. If you give your name and address of the record. How are you?
Good morning. My name is Tony Hall. I'm from Roosevelt. My issue is about, I wouldn't mind seeing Dr. Tuesday's Day. And my thing is, we have a park situation in Roosevelt that hasn't been addressed at all. We don't have a practice field for the kids for football or soccer. Just lately.
Okay. Does this have anything to do with item number 46 on the calendar?
Yes, it does, because it's not on. It's not even on the agenda, which we told it was going to be on the agenda. That's why we're here this morning. The kids have nowhere to go to the bathroom at all. Just earlier this week, the bathrooms was taken out. Portable bathrooms was taken out. We've been there for 40 years. We haven't had one thing done to that park in 40 years. In 40 years. We were the first to put up lights. We climbed the pole ourselves, us and a few coaches, drilled holes, and made the park with a generator so the kids can have somewhere to go. The two entrances in the park, if you look, you wouldn't want your kids to come out of there. If you all want to come and see the entrance to those parks, you would be embarrassed. We are embarrassed. We bring our rakes every day to clean up behind the people that's there. It's embarrassing that we can't go to Roosevelt Park, we can't go to Centennial Park. We have no surrounding parks to go to. We can't go to the high school to practice. We have nowhere to practice. My daughter had a place in Baldwin. She was allowing the cheerleaders to go. Reverend Mackey's brother was allowing us to use the upstairs of the church. We has nowhere to go to practice the kids. If you walk through that entrance, you will fall, trip and fall, and stumble. Now, just lately, we had a conversation with a person, and come this week, we have no bathrooms. We told we can't be there. But we've been there for 40 years. We was told the water company owned it. We knew that. The Germans owned it from the water company. We knew that, but if it isn't broken, don't fix it. We've been there dealing with that issue for 40 years, and we don't have nowhere to go. So where the kids today or tomorrow are going to go to the bathroom? I think that was devilish that the bathrooms was taken out after all these years. It's embarrassing. If you go to any park, Wantor, Massapequa, Uniondale, Farmingdale, Cedarhurst, anywhere, they got bathrooms. If they don't, they got portable bathrooms. In Roosevelt, we don't have anything. Not one place. If you see the facility to walk in through there, you wouldn't even walk in there. Believe me, we did a all-star team in there, and we were embarrassed to have the white people to come to show them where we practiced at for 40 years. Of the residents everywhere. It was embarrassing.
Okay. Thank you very much. I don't have any other slips on the administrative calendar. Does anybody else here in the public wish to be heard on the administrative calendar?
Hello.
Hi. How you doing? If we could have your name and address for the record.
Good morning. My name is Reverend Mario Just.
Okay.
And I'm practically partner with Mr. Tony Hall. And I concurred with everything that Mr. Tony Hall have said. And what many of us need to understand, Roosevelt is about 1.8.
Is this on item number 46?
Yeah, it's item 46 is part of it. Okay, just the same thing with Mr. Tony Hall. Okay, what I want to say, okay, and I'll take my seat, is that it's 1 square mile, and we don't have one Jack Park, none. And Henry Street was given to us, okay, as a courtesy. The water company allowed us to use the park, okay, and we understand that there was a contract, okay, issued to the town of Hempstead and allowed it to use the park. But we don't have a bathroom, okay, just a couple of months ago, okay, we spoke with the town of Hempstead. They were supposed to come and fix the light. The lights are dim. When after dark, the kids don't have a place. After dark, it's the lights are dim. We can't see. It's ridiculous. They were supposed to come fix the water company, the lights, cut the trees. Nothing happens. Okay, it is an injustice for us in Roosevelt not to have what other communities have. That's all we ask. I've been coaching soccer for 22 years approximately. I coach high school, okay, as a varsity coach for 13 years. You can look up the records, Reverend Mario Just. And I decided to move on and leave the high school and be a coach, okay, with Mr. Tony Hall as a football coach, and I'm a commissioner of soccer, president of Roosevelt Vision Soccer Club, and to help these. I have 150 children in my program, and he has about 120 kids in his program. That is an injustice. And other communities have their kids, have parks, and we have none whatsoever. Look it up.
Sir.
That's why we're here. I
you're-
apologize for taking some time, but please do something for us. That's all we ask.
You're referring to Centennial Park?
No, we refer to Henry Street Park.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was trying to understand.
Commissioner Zangler, if you could just give us a brief
Yes, please.
summary of what's taking place.
Sir, we just asking for build something for us in the community. Football and soccer, that's all we ask. Just like Merrick, Baldwin, Freeport, Uniondale, everybody, we have nothing.
Okay.
And you should see the park that we use. There's rocks. Somebody came in Saturday, question, we don't have the right to be there. We have portable bathroom. Thought to find out this morning, I went in, I do my runs every morning before I go to work. The portable bathroom will move. Where are they supposed to have their doo-doos and their pee-pees? On the floor? Come on, people. Do something for us. God bless your heart.
And that should be on the 20th.
Okay, now, Commissioner Zangler, is that a town park, or could you give us a breakdown? No, I know, but Commissioner Zangler is going to respond now.
Previously, it was owned by American Water.
Okay.
And a couple of other water companies that changed hands in the past. As a courtesy, we've just cut the grass. We really can't do any infrastructure on it. I know
We don't own the property.
we don't own the property.
Okay.
We understand that you don't own the property, but it was assigned to you. There's a contract for 20 years for you to have the park and take care of it. 20, and now, wait a minute, sir. Wait a minute.
Portable bathroom.
Wait a minute. The contract expired. We spoke to an individual on the board that they were going to renew the contract. But you have the point. But you did nothing for us. Fix the park. I just spoke to somebody this morning. You know what they said? They said that she said to me that it is not their responsibility that to take care of. But yet you have a contract by the water company to take care of it so that we can use it. There's rocks and you should treat the gates. It is an injustice and unfair, sir.
Excuse me.
Where's the righteousness? Where's the fairness?
Thank you, Reverend. Councilwoman?
What I'd like to say to you is, sir, I know the park was there when I first came on board, okay? At that time, you had a waiver for it from the company. That was a different water company. That was the Long Island Water Company, all right? You had it at that time. And then what happens? The company from Germany came in and purchased all of that land. And we tried at this time to purchase it back from them. They would not sell it to us because what was happening is you need water in Uniondale. In Roosevelt. They put some tanks underneath that ground. And because the tanks are there, we tried to make sure that they could leave and we could buy, they would not sell it to us. So now it was purchased by another water company. That you had a lease, let's see, maybe 5 years or so ago, you had it. That was before the Germans purchased it. Once they purchased it, it's not ours. We don't have any right to be on that. Let me finish. I let you finish. Let me finish, sir. You say you're a minister, right?
Yes.
Okay, respect that. I respect the minister, so would you please respect what I have to tell you? I want to...
No problem. Go ahead, Ms. Gooseby. Sorry about that.
All right. So what happened was, now we have a different water company who owns it. I told you before, we have met with them. We had a meeting with our attorney, their attorneys, and the main people who own it came. We are working, I let you know at that time that we are working to try to get another lease from them to let you use it. So we have to do that. But if you go on there, you're not going to find it. And you get porta potties will come from us, once we do that. And we're going to do a big business on that place. You're going to have new fences and all of that will come once they give us the permission. We cannot go on land that does not belong to us.
Okay,
so please, it's just like if I wanted to come to your house and just move in and do what I want to do in your house, could I do that?
No.
Could I do that? Let's ask it.
No, gentlemen.
I'm trying to explain.
The councilwoman's responding.
We're sorry. Go ahead, continue.
Okay, so I'm trying to tell, we cannot use land that does not belong to us. We are constantly working on it, and I thought by now it would be completed, but it's not. So we have our attorney, plus they have their attorney. So as soon as that is done, I've told you before, we will have a nice opening once it's completed.
Thank you. Now, what happened, Ms. Gooseby?
I have nothing with Garden City. Listen, if you lived in Roosevelt all these years, you would know that much of what you have there was sold out, okay? And that was before I came on board. You had it sold out. You have houses built on it and everything else. All of that happened before my time. And that's how we won the lawsuit, if you know about it.
Okay, yes.
Okay?
But
But I'm trying to tell you, as soon as we finish with the law, and it's okay with them, and they let us have it, we think they're going to give us 10 years.
That's good.
Okay, 10 years. So once that's completed, then we will go ahead and make sure that you'll be able to use the park.
All right, thank you, Ms. Gooseby. What happens if they don't allow you? What are you going to do for us for the past 40 years? It's been like this for 40 years. What are you going to do for us?
Thank you. 3 minutes. Now, I don't have any other slips. Is there anyone else? That's it. No, sir, please, let's.
Can we practice in Garden City?
Yes, is there anybody else that isn't here that didn't sign it? Sure, if you can please come up to the mic and sign it and give your name and address. Sorry, you please be respectful. We've given the 3 minutes. There are other residents. Thank you. You can always speak to the Parks Commissioner in the back. Thank you.
That's bad.
Young lady, thank you. Good morning, ma'am. Can I have your name and address for the record? Thank you. Thank you. Okay, thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Yes, ma'am.
My name.
What? But sir. That's the Parks Commissioner right there. If you'd like to go, okay. Well, no. Can you hold on for a second? Because if you could stick around, because the question might be coming up. So I'd like to have I appreciate that. That's very nice of you. Thank you.
Ma'am, if we're now welcome you this morning. How are you today?
Fine, thank you.
Nice to see you.
Got up this morning, so everything is
There you go.
I want to say, first of all, my name is Laura L. Wiggins. I reside in Uniondale, and I'm here speaking on 46. I want to say that before I make my comments in reference to Senior Councilwoman Dorothy Gooseby, that when there is a problem, there are solutions. Your approach, my approach, and everybody else's approach. But we come together and we come up with one solution for one problem. We do not blame 1, 2, 3 when there are 6, 7, 8, etc., etc., etc. We come together. Anger does not accomplish anything but produce more anger. One person can do their best, but you cannot condemn them for the problem because they did not produce the problem. If you feel strong about what you feel is right, then take the creative and the productive mode. Do your research, do your history, and then come up with other people who will confer with you, and then you will arrive at a solution. In reference to the renaming, I approve of it. I live in Uniondale. And it's not that Uniondale has everything, because we don't. We don't have clean water to drink, okay? There are neighborhoods in which, or shall I say streets in which every house has had someone who has passed from the poison of the water. So instead of singling out 1, 2, 3 people, you need to focus on that which is affecting you, your children, and your children's children. Those who have been in and have given us the service for 18 or 19 years, appreciate what they've done in the time that they did it. Because believe me, and I'm no young chicken, but when I came up, they were lynching, they were shooting, and they're still doing it. So if you want to practice what you preach here today, go out and do the work that others did and gave their life, their energies, and produced what you stand on today on. Their efforts, their collective efforts of all people, not just. May I just conclude by saying, because that was the time of the tone.
It was the time, Ms. Wades. And thank you very much. And I know the Councilwoman appreciated your nice commentary, so that was very nice of you. Thank you.
So I would just like to say one thing else. Uniondale is the same as Roosevelt, is the same as Hempstead, is the same as Lakeview. Is it Lakeview? Yeah. Bottom line, let's get together, discuss our problems, and come up with a solution. Let us not sit down and try to.
All right, thank you so much.
Thanks, Ms. Wade.
You went for it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I don't have any other slips in the administrative calendar, but I see you would like to go to the back. Oh. We'll have you give your name and address, sir.
How you doing? My name is Aubrey Moore, 14 Grand Street, Roosevelt. I just wanted to camel back on the topic of Henry Street Park quickly. You know, I'm from the neighborhood. I've been in the neighborhood.
No, I understand the Henry Street. Is there anything on the administrative calendar, though, that you want to speak about?
I'm still touching on 46.
Okay.
You know, I grew up playing in that park, and I'm 40 years old. I played in that park since I was at the age of 9. I now coach in that park. Both of my kids played in that park. That park has never had grass. It's always been a dirt field. It's always been rocks. It's always been unsafe. It's been like an inside joke that the conditions of the park make the kids in Roosevelt tougher than the kids in other towns because of what we are forced to play on. Now, I understand that you don't have control of the park, but we're kind of in the catch-22. The community has been taking care of that park for the last 40 years. So if you can't officially come in and make renovations to the park, then can you unofficially allot its caretakers a stipend so we can take care of the park?
I think, Councilwoman?
Listen, again, it is not ours. The land does not belong to us. And I've explained to you, you're not listening. The only thing I want to tell you is, again, we have had our attorneys meet, and we've had the members of the water company meet with us. And we're working on it now. I was hoping it would be done by today, but it's not. We have to pass the law. We have to let them give us the right to use the park. And once we do that, we're going to make sure that it's in the condition it can be. We asked about putting in a bathroom. They said no. And the reason for that is because the water tanks where you drink your water from are coming from there. Roosevelt had a very hard time with the water. It was really rusty. Your clothes were coming out brown. So they put in new tanks, and you see all of those paraphernalia around it. They have everything there to clean it up. But they will let us use it. They were very nice to us, and I'm sure it will be done. But we cannot tell you that you can go in on somebody else's property. We can't do it. I feel for you with the kids. I know what you're saying. I understand it. But for 40 years, you might have been using it, but it's never belonged to this town. Never belonged to this town. So we're trying now to get another lease. So if we get that, then we'll be able to do what we need to do. But we can't put bathrooms in.
Quickly.
Because of the water tanks that are there. They won't sell the land because the water tanks are there, because they may have to get in to make sure that if anything happens to those tanks, they have to go in and make sure that they repair it. So that's all I have to tell you. That's the law.
Ma'am, I heard you out in its entirety. What I asked is, can you unofficially, we're not asking you for permission to use the park. We've been using the park for 40 years. Every renovation in the park has been made by somebody from the community. My father works for Long Island Power Authority. The light system that's in the park, he put those lights in the park when I was a child that now the town now maintains. So we've been making renovations and taking care of that park without permission for 40 years. We're not asking you for permission. You understand what the problem is. We're asking you to unofficially give us funds to assist us in doing what we've been doing for 40 years.
Sir, I have some very good news for you. In 12 days, we have reached an agreement in principle, which we are reducing to written form. We're ready virtually to be able to complete the whole effort in order to license the property from the water company, as the councilwoman has urged and as she's requested. So I think in 12 days' time, you're going to see that there will be an agreement that will allow the town to be on the property and to make improvements on the property for the park, for the people, at the request of the councilwoman, and that will happen at the next meeting. I think that's very good news, and I think we should all be pleased and grateful to the councilwoman for her efforts in order to accomplish this agreement that we're about to enter, and that will be entertained in 12 days.
Understood, but again, in our interests, we haven't had anything done in 40 years, so we're just trying to protect ourselves and the kids in the community. You have over 300 kids into that park every week. You have lights that need to be fixed right now. You have water that needs to be fixed right now, and it's not $1 million. We can't get anybody out there to remedy the problem right now, fix the lights so we can see on the rocks.
But it's not our property, so we're not allowed to, right, Joe?
Without an agreement, we can't.
Can you give us access to another park? In the meantime, What can you do for us in the meantime? Because Roosevelt is a part of the town of Hempstead. The kids in Roosevelt is a part of the town of Hempstead. The kids in Roosevelt deserve the same, the same
Sir, listen.
accommodations
I understand how you...
that all the other towns
Reverend.
Would you please stop? Because he just told you he has. I guess it came in. You got it from the water company.
Yes.
Okay, so they are.
We did hear in 12. We did hear in
12 days, and that's when we'll be able to do that legally. We'll be able to do it legally within that time period. Legally, we cannot do it. I'm not going to say I'm going to do anything that's not legal.
Okay, thank you very much.
fine.
I don't have any other, I know there's a gentleman that wanted to speak on the administrative calendar in the back. No. Have you name and address, and which item are you speaking on?
Mita J. Meriday. Current Baldwin, but lifetime Rough Rider, born and raised in Roosevelt. I'm appalled by this situation, not shocked.
Which item are you talking on?
I'm getting to that, Supervisor. No, I already know that number. I'm not even at that number. 22, where we're talking about authorizing amendment to the 2021 adopted budget. And I encourage people who are sitting here, residents and listening, you need to show up in the next couple of weeks. Because if you want to know where your dollars are not going, that's it. You cannot have more people who are elected into position, and the people who pay the taxes are the less number in the room. There are the few of us who are in the room. We hear your cries, but you need to be making those announcements and pronouncements when they are deciding on budgets and expenses. Because this is the county, this is the township that put in touchless toilets during the pandemic with our funding when you couldn't even come here, let alone use a bathroom. So to find out that a park that I knew about from a child prior to even having any parks in Roosevelt, where my parents and grandparents fought to get accommodations that are just the lifeblood in communities such as Garden City and Hewlett, that we have to fight for that. Now I live in Baldwin, and guess what? We got $10 million from the state. Not a dime as yet has been addressed for the downtown revitalization. The civic associations in Baldwin would love to see the 3 council people whose areas touch on Baldwin. Haven't seen you, haven't heard from you. Where's the town of Hempstead? Where's that $10 million? Contracts. Somebody mentioned earlier about the lack of diversity. Not one contract listed here says that the company performing the contract is owned by a minority, a woman, or a service-disabled veteran. Where is the diversity? Where is the inclusion? Where's the fact that all people matter? All lives matter. All taxpayers matter. Our voices need to be heard, not just when you toss us a bone to give us career services, occupational resources, when you can't give somebody a job, when you can't give somebody a decent park for them and their children to actively exert their own energy and utilize their resources. Nassau County alone, we pay the 2nd highest taxes in the country. For what? What do we have to show for it? 2829, again, authorizing an award to GTX Construction Associates. I wonder whose friend or relative is connected to that. We have a problem here in the town of Hempstead. Residents are tired. I heard you say,
thank you very much, Ms. Meriday.
My time is up,
Always
but my
good.
time is never going to be up.
Great, we have another speaker right behind you. Thank you very much.
I understand that, but I'm going to
Thank you, Ms. Meriday.
Please answer, and then I'm going to respond, as it is my right in the First Amendment for freedom of speech. So lean forward, Senior Councilwoman Gooseby, or should say Councilwoman
Ms.
Gooseby.
Meriday,
Say
please.
what you need to say.
The gentleman's waiting. Thank you very much.
To me, so I'm waiting to hear what she has to say. I pause. So
Okay, thank you very much. We have the gentleman come up, and I'm sure you're going to be sticking around for the public section comment too.
Got that right.
Thank you. Good morning. You got it? Okay. Good morning. Give your name and address for the record. Thank you.
Yes, my name is Darrell Godfrey in Roosevelt. Some of you are familiar with me when I first came here 2 months ago. I'm here for a couple reasons, but it's going to start off with Nassau County. They give me 5 minutes to speak because of my disability. How come this meeting is only giving me 3 minutes to speak? I'm asking a question. I have not having a response.
Didn't know Nassau County did that. We can take it under advisement. Thank you for pointing it out.
So you're not going to answer that?
No, I did. I said we didn't know Nassau County was providing that. I'll check with the county, and I appreciate you taking the time to let us know.
So I can't get 5 minutes now.
Mr. Godfrey, what? Go on, please.
All right. Second thing, 46, leadership. Well, I myself had tried contacting Dorothy Gooseby myself. She has never personally responded back to me. This is what this whole thing is about. She hasn't responded back to anybody. People doesn't know what's going on in the neighborhood. People doesn't know what's going on anywhere. So we have to be left in the dark because she does not want to do her part as a job to communicate with the people. She wants us to vote for you, but then she doesn't want us to help the people. I had a sensitive matter. I begged. I called her assistant. I called her office. I emailed her. I emailed her along with everybody else, and I got no response. She's the only one that did not respond. She's the only one. And y'all voting for her to go ahead and name a building after her? Yeah, she might have done things in the past, but as of right now, she is not doing anything for me. I had a personal matter that I needed her help, and I didn't get it. And I think it's unfair that you have to wait till voting season to say, okay, let's name a building after her so she can get more votes. You said you brought this up a year ago. Well, let me ask you a question. How come the community doesn't know about it? We should know about it. We should be informed. We are the community, we are the taxpayers, and we are the voters. Give us some type of attention. That's all we asked for. We didn't ask for anything else. We are part of this community, just like you up there on that board, and you part of them. Make us part of the county, the town of Hempstead. Make us part of that. When I first saw her, she said to me, I fight for everything. As of now, I haven't seen her fight for anything.
Okay. First of all, let him know that he can go back to any book with law, and the people here who don't know. Look for Gooseby versus Town of Hempstead, okay? Read that and see how far that went, as far as the Supreme Court of the United States of America. And you have a right to anything, just all of you do. I'm listening to you. Roosevelt has had its share of whatever other people could give you, all right? You have a lot of homes built here. When I first came on, there was a park that we should be having, which hopefully we'll get enough money to do it. You'll be able to have something else to add. But I'm not going to sit here and argue with you from all I've gone through in my life. And you come here and you say things like that. That is totally not acceptable. And everybody out there is listening to you because they know how much we've had to put forth to get to where you are now, so that you have the work to do it. And sir, when you were here the first time, you told me that you had sent me so many emails. We took your package, and there was only one email there, and that email was not from me to you because you had called and had a problem. We had sent a letter, an email to the police department because that's where it should have gone. So you can't say that you sent all these emails and that you've been calling me and so forth and so on. I disagree with you, so that's it. I'm not going to talk to you.
It started off, the email started off with the town of Hempstead, and it's you as a person If you call somebody, you will want somebody to respond to you.
If you'd
All
like
you
to,
have to do is, sir, please.
no, sir.
I didn't get my 5 minutes.
Sir.
My point is that no, because you're going to tell me that please, sir, sit down. And I asked for 5 minutes. You're not giving me the 5 minutes.
Sir, we right now we have a policy of 3 minutes. I'm being respectful, and
voting matter.
Sir, the policy right now is 3 minutes. As always, I'm happy. Sir, I'm happy to have anybody sit in the back with you, as we have on other meetings, to assist you. And I know that I think 1 or 2 people from the building department did give you assistance, if I'm not mistaken. If you'd like to stay in the back, we'd be happy to talk to you in the back as well. And we appreciate you coming here as always.
I'm not in the back anymore.
Thank you very much. I don't have any other slips. Is there anybody else in the public that would like to be heard on the administrative calendar? No one, sir. We're here to help you. And I said, Kathy or any of the staff, thank you very much. Anybody else wish to be heard in the administrative calendar? Great. If you give your name and address for the record, that would be awesome.
And for the record, I did sign in for the administrative calendar. Bonnie Garone, Rockville Center. I have some questions about item 30. Item 30 says that the Commissioner of General Services deemed it necessary to accept the proposal to perform emergency inspection and safety work on the electrical system. Wondering if the Commissioner can tell us what was that emergency?
To identify yourself, please. Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning, Mr. Supervisor, Town Board, and Senior Councilwoman. This is for a resolution asking the board members to do some work in New Town Hall, 1 Washington. Some of the transformers here are getting older and stuff, and as we did work, we saw some issues that we'd like to make sure that it's safe for the public, it's safe for the people to work here.
What was the emergency?
We're doing a safety test on, again, there's a large electrical room, but then there's also sub-panels and so forth. This building was from 1960, and as time went on, we retrofitted stuff and so forth. So I don't know all the jargon of it, but what I could tell you is that this here is a company that has the ability to test all the lines to make sure that they're safe and at that low risk for fire or some type of bad problem.
And when did this occur?
A month or 2 ago.
And there wasn't sufficient time to select a vendor through the normal procedures?
Well, when there's an emergency like this, we just thought it best to find a company that does something like this.
And how was this particular company chosen?
I think on the internet, to be quite honest.
The town does not have a panel of electricians who are pre-qualified or, on contract for requirements?
Actually, we do, but this here is a specialty. In other words, you're able to test the ability of the integrity of the lines and so forth. It's really a very, specialty. We have a street lighting division. We have more than one company. I think Palace Electric, a few others that are on contract. But in this case, this is to test the integrity of the line and so forth.
And are normal vendors who have been pre-qualified are not capable of doing that?
Not that I know of. This is a specialty item.
And we didn't see fit to have a company to bid out or RFP to have a company like this to do this kind of work, available through normal channels in case there was an emergency?
This is I'm going to say it's a unique situation. Now we'll have, after this going forward, we'll probably put requirements that includes this. Maybe we'll make this separate, but we're probably going to do that going forward.
Again, I'm just not clear on the emergency nature. You're saying that the lines are 60 years old. What occurred?
Commissioner, just correct me if I'm wrong. Isn't this a situation where there was an update recently to the HVAC system that needed to be done, and there was power being drawn that was over the top, and that's what created the emergency?
There was a lot of that. Correct. It seemed that this started to happen when we had put more. Right.
So it's not that we ignored it from 1960. It's that we stepped up to improve our HVAC system. The power was being drawn too much, and we had to make sure that the wires were correct so we didn't light the place on fire.
Because as it was happening, it was shorting out, and we just couldn't let it go on, so we had to.
Right, so that would be the emergency.
Okay, I'm gonna ask you, Commissioner. So we have an emergency. The town of Hempstead is self-insured up to $1 million. Some of the property policies basically require, by contract, when you have an insurance company, that you have to, in your due diligence, repair anything if you're notified of it. Otherwise, the contract with the insurance company is null and void. So if we come up with a problem and we can't get it fast enough done, and we have some kind of a loss in reference to fire and a disaster, our insurance company, if we don't deem it to be essential to get it fixed, we're liable past the limit of our policies. And I 30 years in the insurance business, I would say, Jerry, I don't know, I haven't looked at it, or the town board, but I'm pretty sure that when you have this type of emergency and involves insurance companies, you have to bypass the system to make sure that we're properly insured. And that's, you can answer that if you know that's the case, but.
That's obviously the case, but we're also afraid for people. We want to make sure that it's safe for everybody. Just like in my home, if anything's wrong with gas or with electric, I'm going to fix it or get someone there ASAP. And this is the best that we could come up with.
Okay, I'm not an idiot, and I'm not suggesting that we let the place burn down or that we violate our insurance requirements. Far from it. What I'm questioning is, why was it necessary for the commissioner to just pick a company when this is a business? This is a complicated business that should have appropriate planning in place. And we just wake up one day and said, oh my God, we know we were upgrading the HVAC, through COVID. Everybody knows that. So how did it just arise one day that, oh my goodness, it never occurred to anybody, we need to test the lines, and the commissioner can just pick a company? That's what I'm asking about. And I know I'm not going to get a satisfactory answer, but everybody who's hearing this should think about how this occurred. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. I don't have any other slips. Is there anyone else here in the public wishes to be heard on the administrative calendar?
Me.
Okay, if you could please give your name and address for the record. That has already been heard.
I'm sorry?
Yep, name and address for the record, please.
Valerie Heffron, and for the next 40 days, I'll be St. Augustine, Florida. I'm actually looking to, if possible, and I believe it is possible, I'd like to give this gentleman my 3 minutes.
No, you can't do that. Sorry, we're not allowed. And is there anything else in the administrative calendar you'd like to speak on?
Yes, I was going to speak on item 28, but I just would like to make this point. You have set precedents in the past where people weren't here and you allowed someone from West Hempstead to read an email into the record. So in lieu of that, I think you pass emergency resolutions all the time. Can you just take a vote and
Ms. Heffron, would you like to speak on item number 28, please?
My 2.5 minutes, please. Can you just
Ms. Heffron, you know the policy, please.
He has a disability.
Ms. Heffron, you know the policy. If you'd like to speak on the calendar, that'd be great.
I'm just asking for an exception.
No, Ms. Heffron, no.
Oh my God. He won't give it to me.
Are you for the people?
Ms. Heffron, would you like to speak?
I'm sorry, sir. I tried.
Thank you very much for your help.
I apologize. It's actually really upsetting and disturbing to see that. Item number 28, I wanted to ask exactly what is Kennel 4 going to receive restoration-wise at the shelter for $67,000?
In this resolution, we're asking the town board, this is from the capital plan, this is to upgrade dog run number 4, and put new fencing up and stuff. The gates are getting older, they pop open, things get rusty and older, and it's part of our capital plan to keep improvements up.
Where is kennel number 4, please?
If you're facing the building, it's the one on the right, or the westerlymost one.
It's an outdoor kennel?
No, it's indoor.
It's the indoor kennel.
Correct.
And so the gates are rusting, and for $67,000, was this put out to bid?
This was put out to bid. There was only one person that answered the bid. They're from Freeport, New York.
And so you don't think it's wise to maybe put it out to bid again?
We put this out to bid.
$67,000 is a lot of taxpayer money. I'd much prefer to see some bathrooms in that park over there in Roosevelt as opposed to $67,000 for a fence for a kennel. I mean, I can upgrade my entire kitchen for that amount of money with top-of-the-line appliances and marble. And I'm sorry, is there anyone else here from the shelter? Because Commissioner Marino, with all due respect, you've lied to my face several times with several questions. Last month, I watched you say that the TNR program was back completely. It's not. We just had someone call there again yesterday. You're still at one cat per person per week. You also lied about the food recall. You said you didn't get any notification. You did. I called the company. Is there anyone else here? Where's the director? Where's Mr. Pastori? Can he answer my questions?
Ms. Efron, the commissioner's answering the questions.
Well, how am I supposed to believe him? In all fairness, I've been lied to right to my face, not just by him, by many people in this administration, including the town attorney's office, who told me that they were updating the fire policy at the animal shelter. And a year later, and after a court forced the decision, I was told there is no policy.
Okay, thank you.
How
very
about someone
much.
with some
Thank
credibility?
You so much.
And you should give this man some extra time.
And thank you very
He
much.
deserves
Is
it.
anybody who hasn't been heard on the administrative calendar here that would like to speak on it? Good morning. Give your name and address for the record.
My name is Shoshana Godfrey at 19 Cedar Street in Roosevelt, New York. I wanted to ask a question. I want to know who are y'all supposed to be representing? Because it seems like you're not representing the community, you know. And when things get kind of tough, I see everybody just tries to shut shut that person down who's trying to speak. So if you can answer that question.
Is there anything on the administrative calendar in particular you're talking about right now?
Oh, okay. Now, as for the CARES Act, is that for the park? Let's see. I don't know. We're supposed to be getting revenues.
What's the money expenses? What they pay?
What's the money expense about? I'm not. Okay. About CARES Act funding, can you please, for the park, can you please tell me what you're going to be doing about that? That's on item 22.
I don't know about what you're referring to in item number 22 with CARES Act funding for the park. John, is there anything on that? And 22 for CARES Act funding for a park? No. Oh, okay. There's nothing on that about CARES Act funding for the park on number 22.
Oh, why can't it be? Why can't it be?
Why can't, if you'd like to stick around for the comment area to talk about, but that's just a resolution.
I think people.
No, Ms. Godfrey, this is your 3 minutes, Ms. Godfrey, please. I appreciate it. Thank you, Ms. Godfrey. Thank you very, very much.
Also, as for Henry Street Park, can the kids be relocated to a different park until you get get everything straightened out in 12 days? Can they be relocated for a short space of time, I guess, until you get this straightened out? Because the children still have to do things.
I don't know. Have they reached out to the local school district, see if they can use any of the fields?
I'm just asking.
I'm just giving a possible alternative. If they reached out to the school district, maybe the school district could alleviate one of their fields.
What can you do? What can you do to help the people and the children? What can you do for them?
Like I said, I think we're trying to do all we can. We have a lot of different areas that we make investments in, and you know what I said. Hopefully in 12 days they'll have access back to that field. We're sort of limited when you don't own the property. There's really not much you can do.
But that's why I said, okay, we understand that we don't own it, you don't own it. So can they be located to a place where you own, so they can, get the practice that they can get and try to be the greatest team that they can be.
The only suggestion I'd make is if they reached out and see if there's any availability through the Parks Department, but again, you also have to think about maybe they could find a school if it is.
It would be nice if you guys could.
Ma'am,
help instead of them trying to, find where they can go.
Ma'am,
Nobody's gonna let
Do you know if they reached out to Nassau County and asked Nassau County if they could use any of their fields?
Yep, we did. They told us no.
Okay.
Ma'am, as the supervisor had implied before, until and unless we have some sort of agreement with the property owner, we couldn't simply go and make improvements. But we did come to this agreement. Now, to look for another place when in 12 days' time I'll have that agreement before this board passed would probably not be productive at all. We're going to be able to accomplish what you want. I think it's all excellent news, wonderful news, largely at the behest of the senior councilwoman that we were able to accomplish this. It's just going to be non-productive to try to look for an alternative in the 12-day gap between now and the next board meeting.
All right, I'm going to leave before
Ms. Godfrey, anything else you want to add, Ms. Godfrey? Mr. Godfrey, you've had the time. It's Ms. Godfrey. It's your opportunity now, ma'am.
Hempstead, the acting commissioner, and the commissioner himself. I want to thank them for a wonderful job in guiding me, helping with me on my problem that Ms. Gooseby did not want to face. Now, the last
Okay, no, Mr. Godfrey, the 3 minutes up. Is there anybody else in the public here today that hasn't been heard on the administrative that would like an opportunity? Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Godfrey. Okay, I don't have anybody else. May I please have a motion on the administrative calendar? Nope. On the administrative calendar?
Yes. Move the administrative calendar in its entirety.
Second.
Supervisor Clavin.
Aye.
Councilman Blakeman.
Flowers.
Councilman Carini.
Aye.
Councilman D'Esposito. Aye. Councilman Dunn. Aye. Senior Councilwoman Gooseby. Aye. Councilman Muscarella.
Aye. Okay, before we call the next part, we do want to give a special presentation to Senior Councilwoman Gooseby. Well, want to make a motion to adjourn?
Sure.
Yep.
I make a motion.
Motion.
Second.
Supervisor Clavin.
Aye.
Councilman Blakeman.
Aye.
Councilman Carini.
Aye.
Councilman D'Esposito.
Aye.
Councilman Dunn.
Aye.
Senior Councilwoman Gooseby. Aye. Councilman Muscarella.
Aye. Okay, I do want to say on behalf of the town board, over a year and a half ago, we made the announcement at our program in February before the pandemic broke about dedicating the plaza in Senior Councilwoman Gooseby's name. We're happy that we were able to finally schedule it with some special guests that are coming. It's always nice when you schedule things and you actually have a U.S. Senator that wants to come to the program that asked us to schedule it around his timetable, and we were able to accommodate. So we'd ask any of the residents to please join us on October 2nd, 2021. And I'll say Senior Councilwoman, more importantly, Dorothy, on behalf of everyone here, we love working with you on this town board. You're a great advocate. You're a great friend. And frankly, I don't think we could thank you. And we're looking forward to the ceremony on October 2nd. So on behalf of everybody. No, of course not. I wouldn't do that.
Let me get in on this real fast. Excuse me a second. My girl.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Isn't it beautiful?
Yeah.
But you know what I do. I work very hard for everyone. And it's unfortunate we had people here today who do not know. But thank you so much, and I'm very happy. My family's coming from Georgia and so forth, and they will be here.
We love you.
And I'm just, it's wonderful.
It'll be a great ceremony. Thank you. Thank you, Senior Councilwoman, and it's going to be a beautiful ceremony. We're looking forward to it. Well, now that the formal town... Oh, yeah.
I'd like to make a quick motion to take a 10-minute recess, please. Second.
10-minute recess? Second? Okay, we're going to take a 10-minute recess. We'll start up at 11:50 on the clock in the back.